Hello, everyone, and especially hello to everyone on the Facebook One Wrestling News page. We finally made it to WrestleMania, one of the big sports spectaculars that wrestling fans like us look forward to each and every year. Now, here's what's happening for this pay per view. A couple notes we need to bring up. There are two nights of this Showtime Spectacular. That's what I'll call it. So for the first time ever for my wrestling predictions video, there's going to be a part 1 and a part 2. So part 1 you're watching hopefully sometime later this afternoon, hopefully before 7 o'clock Eastern. And then the same deal tomorrow on the 11th. I'm pretty much excited. Okay, I know I haven't really been watching Raw and SmackDown the past couple of weeks, but I have an idea of the card, especially because I was watching a lot of it in March. But past 2 weeks, I haven't felt like I needed to watch, especially how we know the general idea of what's going to happen. And plus, the night after the second night, I want to watch Raw on Monday, likely after when the Knicks are done playing the Lakers. So, trust me, I am stoked. I knew what we were going into for this pay-per-view. So part 1 today, part 2 tomorrow. Second note, this is going to be the first WWE event since March of last year where fans are going to be allowed. So fans will be allowed tonight, fans will be allowed tomorrow, and then Monday we're going to the new Thunderdome somewhere in Florida. I forget where it is at the moment. But there is a rumor that WWE may not be holding fans in attendance until SummerSlam, which in my honest opinion, I guess that's the right move for now, because there's likely a chance in the fall and the winter months, especially how we get the vaccine out, and, vaccine's doing pretty good with the rollout, except Johnson & Johnson had a little hiccup. But other than that, Dr. Fauci thinks by sometime in late August or early September, we might see a degree of normality. So could that mean SummerSlam with fans? We'll have to wait and see on that. So a limited cap capacity of 25,000 fans at Raymond James Stadium. The plan for WrestleMania was unveiled a couple months ago, where this year Tampa would be hosting it. The event was originally supposed to take place in Hollywood at SoFi Stadium, hosted the LA Rams, but Triple H announced a couple months ago that because Tampa got double-crossed the pandemic, they felt that Raymond James should host this year. The next year for WrestleMania 38, they're going to hold it in AT&T Stadium in Dallas. And then at WrestleMania 39, that's where they're going to have WrestleMania in California. So those are the next 3 WrestleManias scheduled. And I don't have an issue with that. Okay. And remember, let's just look at the fact here that the last WWE event in general was to ever have fans in attendance was actually at the Performance Center 2 nights before SmackDown had to go without a crowd on March 13th. So, first time since March 11th, 2020, we're going to hear fans. And I guess the question that me, and I know I'm going to call out this person, but I'm going to say it anyway. Me and James Faluca have been wondering specifically, is the crowd going to boo Roman Reigns? Because we knew how, and we've always had this debate for years, me and James, that if they ever were to turn Roman heel, and because, okay, we didn't want to see a John Cena repeat. We weren't seeing eye to eye on that many years ago. How is the crowd going to boo Roman? Like, is it going to be so loud with 25,000 people booing Roman Reigns? There's a good chance it could happen tomorrow night, because that match is not taking place till tomorrow. Which, okay, look, I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with them having the Universal Championship match tomorrow night. Don't have an issue with it. Can't always get what you want, you know? But it would be great if WrestleMania had Saturday instead of Sunday. You know, more convenient, I guess, but give the wrestlers a break so that way they can recuperate from Monday. Some of them, but yeah, most of the SmackDown matches got moved to tomorrow night, but nevertheless, one more note I need to bring up, because I normally don't make these intros that long, but there's a lot we got to talk about. We need to bring up the fact that this is the first sole pay-per-view to be held on NBC's pay service called Peacock. Now, I will mention, because my dad subscribes to Comcast in Maryland for our condo in Ocean City. We already have Peacock into our subscription. They had an additional $5 a month, which my dad was not too happy, but I told him, what would you rather have? Would you rather have me pay the $10, which I told Dad, they're going to take down WWE Network. You don't have to worry about going to Walmart each and every time. So that's what we used to do back in the day to get the pay-per-views. For me, because my dad doesn't watch, but he's like, well, you're getting movies, you're getting shows, you're getting WWE, you might as well just keep paying for it. And plus, we already pay for HBO Max anyway, but let's get into how people without Comcast get double-crossed, okay? So this is how it works. You have the Peacock Premium, which is $5 a month, and then you have the Peacock Premium Plus. But again, you know, we already have Comcast, and we already get charged the $4 a month anyway, so, well, the $5. So, you get WWE Network, so you get all the pay-per-views. Now, sad news is for other parts of the world, you're stuck with the WWE Network. I know it stinks. And I even know one person in Canada, he literally has to get WWE Network up there. So I feel bad for him. But, get a good VPN, you might have a chance to pay the low fee. So, maybe try Nord, maybe try Express, because I know I dumped my Nord subscription because I was getting disappointed with Nord. I'll do a separate video on that in the future, but so far, here's the thing. Peacock is available on a majority of devices, but the good news is there is a way to sideload the app onto the Fire Stick. I've already done that. That's how I'm going to watch in my living room tonight, because I know I called my nearby pizza place to place an order so that way they have it ready for tonight, because I am having food sent over for it. But you got the base version of Peacock is free, but again, if you want to watch WrestleMania tonight and tomorrow, you got to sign up for the premium. Otherwise, you're not going to get WrestleMania tonight. I know it's a good option. And plus, here's the good thing. This is only exclusively on Peacock. It's not like last year where people were getting fooled to pay the expensive fee to watch WrestleMania on their paid provider. First time in a while, DirecTV was actually letting me purchase it. I'm like, no, I have the network. And before I get into the card, I just want to mention, last year, even with the circumstances, I didn't have an issue with the pay-per-view being in the Performance Center. I thought there were some good matches. And, you know, I will mention that, yes, it was great seeing McIntyre win. It was great seeing Strowman win. But, you know, Kevin Owens knows how WrestleMania works. It's his show. And I guarantee you in a few years he's going to headline. The one person who I think should be headlining is Kevin Owens. And down the line, I think he will. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, so let's go to our Night 1 predictions. So, this is how I think I'm going to organize it, because I just think it's easier to go this route. So, what I'm going to do is, go with a match that I think should just get out of the way. It's an exhibition match, and it involves a big-time celebrity. Now, we know The Miz is a celebrity, but we're talking about reggaeton artist Bad Bunny. So, something tells me Bad Bunny's gonna win. Because, I don't know, I just think that they've made The Miz have a week-long reign as WWE champion until Lashley took over. And then you had that go into Bad Bunny and The Miz for the past couple of weeks. So there's a lot of build-up towards it, and I understand. I completely get it. You know, even when I watched Raw last month, you know, it's like, look, you're going to make Bad Bunny win anyway. You might as well just make Bad Bunny win. Might as well. Okay, next up, Braun Strowman taking on Shane McMahon. Now, here's how I view this match. I view this match as Braun Strowman trying to get revenge on Shane McMahon, which is fine. You know, look, they did that with Kevin Owens 2 years ago, and look what happened. Kevin Owens lost. But I think this time, they're going to have to let Braun Strowman win here, because we're really getting sick and tired of Shane McMahon already. You know, wasn't he fired 2 years ago on SmackDown? Why is he back on WWE television in the first place? Is it because of that Raw Underground that was during the height of the pandemic? You know, first of all, how were they even allowed to have the Raw Underground during the pandemic? Because nobody was social distancing in there. Nobody was wearing a face mask. So I get overzealous about that. But the point is, Braun Strowman's going to win. And if he doesn't, you're going to hear it from the 25,000 people who are sitting there tonight. They're not going to be happy. I wouldn't be happy. Now, here's something I'm looking forward to on the SmackDown side of things. Cesaro taking on Seth Rollins. And this has been a pretty good build-up. You know, first of all, I noticed that they changed Seth Rollins' music to Burn It Down. Maybe it's a sign they may turn him face in a couple months. We'll have to wait and see. But this is the match where Cesaro probably gets put over, most likely. And I think this is the part where maybe down the line they're going to give Cesaro a push. We'll have to wait and see. But Cesaro does win. And I expect Seth Rollins to be embarrassed tonight. He's going to get swung around so many times on pay-per-view. It's going to be so funny. And I'm not really going to feel bad for Seth Rollins. I mean, it was coming to him. I mean, think about it. Rollins now for the past year, it's like, look at me. I'm the big deal. I guess this is the retribution us fans get for the height of the pandemic, even after WrestleMania, where Rollins was just blabbing on and having that feud with Rey Mysterio last year and his whole family. Okay, next up, we are going to go to The New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods taking on AJ Styles and Omos. And I hate to say it, but this is where AJ Styles and Omos are going to win. I understand that they have this whole corny storyline. That's fine to kill maybe 10 or 15 minutes of a 3-hour program every week. But AJ Styles has been in WrestleMania before. I understand Omos is this big, tall guy that we've never seen wrestle before. But something tells me Omos is going to be too much to handle. And AJ Styles and Omos are going to win. So therefore, your new Raw Tag Team Champions will be AJ Styles and Omos. Alright, next up, we have a tag team turmoil match. Okay, so here we go. We have the teams of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke taking on Lana and Naomi, Natalya and Tamina, and then the Riot Squad. This is where Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke finally win. And I'm sorry to say it, but it's about time. Let them get a championship opportunity. The second team that I could likely see winning would likely be Lana and Naomi. Because I think Lana has been wanting retribution for a while. So they could go down that line because Lana was put through a table so many times in the Thunderdome that I've lost track of how many times it happened. But could happen that way. But I'm going to go with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Okay. Next up, we have the women's tag team. Oh, my bad. The women's championship on SmackDown. Excuse me. Right. We have Sasha Banks, your defending champion, taking on Bianca Belair, who won the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble. This is where I think Bianca Belair is going to win. Odds are we know when previous Royal Rumble winners have gone to win the championship at WrestleMania. So it sounds like most likely Bianca Belair is going to win here. And I know it stinks for Sasha. It was a good reign. But it's time for Bianca to get her first singles title in WWE. I've been saying this for a while. I've been following her since she was in NXT. And it's about time that Bianca gets what's coming to her. So Bianca Belair wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. And to close out night 1, here we go. Bobby Lashley taking on Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Move this up a little bit, that way you all can see this. So, here we go. Main event of tonight will be this match between Lashley and McIntyre. Hate to say it, but McIntyre is going to win again because it will be a disaster if McIntyre doesn't win. Now, if Lashley wins, okay, fine. You know what? Maybe it's for a good reason. Maybe they're finally going to have the Lesnar-Lashley match. They do at SummerSlam, good. I don't have an issue with it. There are other ways to make the match happen, even without the championship being defended. So, I'll just go with McIntyre winning. End story. And good for Drew. He'll be a 3-time champion. And I'll be very happy for him on that. So there you have it. Night 1 of WrestleMania in the books. So, I'll be back tomorrow to predict Night 2 of WrestleMania. And hopefully, things go well with 7 matches. I would think that maybe the show ends around 10 o'clock or 10:30 tonight. So, hopefully enough time for me to rest and react and, I guess, figure out what happened. Thank you all very much for watching. And until the next one, please take care.